Hey everybody, so we are here with our first episode of Finding History. The idea behind this series is to go and find some of the local personalities, individuals had an impact in business, sports, entertainment, whatever it might be, religion, uh, and go to these cemeteries. Some of them were going to be like this one, is going to be from afar, but individuals that had an impact on their local community and have a story worth note and worth remembering. The idea for this series actually came from Pat, who had been sending me quite a few of these different find a grave and articles on different individuals. A lot of them buried in Mount Lebanon Cemetery, which we visited. He also sent me one on where Robert Coleman's buried at St. James Episcopal Church in Lancaster. But a lot of them I want to go and I want to actually physically visit and then talk about it. Hopefully, have some pictures of the individuals themselves, maybe some of their work and things of that nature. The first one we're doing here is the motorcycle man of Millersburg. He's actually a great uncle, Harvey Goodling, and his wife Mary Goodling. And I go into this tale of them and things like that. But we had done one previously where we had visited the gravesite of Milton Hershey and H.B. Reese, sort of testing it out to a degree because I didn't give a lot of information on them. And a lot of these people, you're not necessarily going to have a ton of information on them, but there's enough that these are people of note that should be remembered. Have a pretty interesting history and have, been behind some of the cool places and events and things, moments in history that are worth remembering in our local communities. So that's what this series is going to be about. And it actually came about. I was talking to my mom a couple months ago before I got in cast, and she mentioned this Harvey Goodling, who ran a motorcycle shop, was married to her Aunt Mary. Her two aunts, her mother's sisters, Mary and Anna, are who she's named after, Mary and Anna. So I had never heard of these individuals before of Harvey Goodling. I had heard of Mary and Anna and her aunts, and then she had two uncles as well. I think it was Charles and Moses I talked about in previous videos out in Millersburg. But I thought this would make a cool video of note. Anybody that knows me knows I'm really into the history of the automobile companies and motorcycle companies. A couple years back, Discovery Channels did a short series on mini series, if you will, 3 episodes called Harley and the Davidsons, and how historically accurate it is or not. I think there's a couple things I saw that were off, but I really like the history of Harley Davidson, Indian motorcycles, Merkel, Excelsior, and the British motorcycle company Triumph. So I really enjoyed that series. So knowing that I have a great uncle that was actually an authorized Harley Davidson dealer, especially that they had been in from the get go, 1927. It's a pretty neat event. And Mom and I were talking, and I looked it up on my phone, and here I found a couple different advertisements from 57, and I think the other one was from 70, and then a picture that was in front of the shop that had Harvey in there, and then his two kids and a customer. And she immediately recognized the kids and Harvey. So it was sort of a neat moment. Mom got to live a little bit of her history and some of that. But so we're going to go into that, and that's sort of what we're going to do with this series and have a lot of fun with it. Explore, in this case, a little bit of family history. Not a whole lot that I know, but cool nonetheless. So I hope you guys enjoy this little bit of history of these individuals, Harvey and Mary Goodling.
So this is the picture I was talking about. The man standing is Harvey Goodling, my great uncle, and then the man sitting on the motorcycle, I think his name is James Evans, and then the two kids would be Susie and Eddie Goodling. This is the picture my mom recognized instantly and was able to say, hey, these are who they are, and he's standing there in front of his motorcycle shop, and it has the Harley Davidson Cycles authorized dealer. And he was there, and it's Lankerville, which would have just been, I guess, east of Millersburg. It was sort of part of the town. And then this here, you'll see, this was the first advertisement from 1958. that they had out when Harvey Goodling was running this. They started this cycle shop in 1927, so I'd assume it was probably his father that started the shop. Could have even been grandfather, but it was neat to just know that he had this motorcycle shop that had been around for 30 years already in 1957, from the beginning days of Harley Davidson. This was definitely just one of those icons of the business industry in the Millersburg area, and was for so many years. Now, when this business ran to, because Harvey Goodling passed away in 1969, his wife and then his son Eddie wound out taking over the business and continued to run it for quite a while. How long that is exactly, I really don't know. This would be the next advertisement from 1970, the year after he passed. There is a motorcycle shop there today in that general region in Lankerville called Black Creek Cycles. The gentleman that runs it has like a ton of experience, especially with Harley Davidson. So whether he learned from Eddie or whoever, and it's at the same location, because the street that's right there is Goodling Street. So one would assume, being the location, being the notoriety of this business, that may very well be the case. So Harvey Goodling was born in 1909 and passed away in 1969. He was a World War II vet, and eventually would wind out, when coming back from World War II, would take over his family business, the Goodling Motorcycles being an authorized Harley Davidson dealer. His wife Mary was born in 1913, lived to 2002. I believe I said 2004, but it is 2002. She had continued to run the family business after Harvey's passing in 1969, and was quite the member of the community. And lastly, we have here in this picture, I don't know who the person is on the left, but the second, third, and fourth individuals are the three sisters, Helen, Mary, and Anna. And once again, Mary and Anna, the two, I believe, that are on the right, would have been who my mother was named after.